Now the details. Thank you for taking the time to join us. The Prime Minister of Rwanda, Dr. Edouard Ngirente, has noted that the establishment of foreign wealth funds in African countries is a key role player in the implementation of projects to boost the continent's economy and sustainable development. This was during the ended two-day annual meeting of the Africa Sovereign Investors Forum that took place here in Kigali. We have more with Shina Teta.
Africa has faced repercussions of the recent global shocks, among which is the volatile commodity prices and a contraction of global demand amidst growing protectionism. This has led to substantial capital outflows from developing to advanced economies. Despite the not very long existence of the Africa Sovereign Investors Forum, its establishment implies a great significance in terms of diversification of economy in African countries, as well as their cooperation, as elaborated by the chairman of Africa Sovereign Investors Forum.
It also demonstrates how, probably to all ASIF members, partners, and to all the attendees that contributed to the success of this edition. I really enjoyed the spirit of the event and of the discussions, and I hope we will build on that for more collaboration and partnership. We will indeed all come back home, members and partners, with food for thought on how we can capitalize on these discussions for our respective mandates, but also for our initiative to grow and develop.
Notably, the two-day premiere also witnessed the 10 years anniversary celebration of Agaciro Development Fund that was established to meet Rwanda's development-related challenges and provide economic solutions in favor of resilience. The Chief Executive Officer of Agaciro Development Fund says that all is being done to increase the fund's assets, thus economy increase for Rwanda as well.
Generating money is essential, but as means to expand the development fund. We should invest in other projects like construction, agriculture, and investment, given we have the target of reaching $1 billion value of assets.
The Rwandan Prime Minister, during the closure of the second annual meeting of the Africa Sovereign Investors Forum, indicated that Africa's economy can be highly boosted if countries establish sovereign wealth funds and ensure their proper management.
African sovereign wealth funds will play a key role in developing an efficient and diversified economy through equitable diversification and the generation of wealth for future generations. To achieve this, we must ensure that these funds are well managed with efficiency. I once again congratulate Ethiopia and Mauritius for joining the forum. Let us continue together the journey of partnership and co-investment as Africans for the African benefit.
The Africa Sovereign Investors Forum gathering convened various authorities in the sovereign wealth funds ecosystem alongside government officials and other stakeholders, and the primary focus was to evaluate challenges and explore development opportunities across all sectors in the African economy. Shina Teta, RTV News.
Thank you, Sheena. Now, farmers around the country have been commending the fact that their produce is in high demand, thanks to the processing plants that are operational in key areas, ensuring that nothing they grow goes to waste. We have the details on that as well. Ismail Hategekimana has been a rice farmer in Ruhango district of the southern province since 1972. And back then, he got just 12 Rwandan francs per kilo from middlemen for his produce, and it was an uphill struggle for him and other farmers to develop in any way. We would harvest and lay the rice out in the open with no proper sheds, and the birds would come and have their fill. And when it rained, much of it would be washed away. To make matters worse, we got very little money for what we did sell, and it was not uncommon to have much of the harvest remain with no one there to buy it, and there was nothing we could do about it. In the 29 years since the country was liberated back in 1994, the government of Rwanda has addressed this problem. So much so it is now a question of ensuring that processing plants have a big enough supply. As long as we are operational, no maize farmer can claim not to have a market for their cobs because our supplies come from all over the country, even as far away as Umutara, not to mention right here in Kamonyi district as well as Ruhango district. With more processing plants opening across the country, farmers are steadily moving away from subsistence farming. We are very fortunate to be able to sell our produce so easily, and I can afford to buy a cow if that is what I want to do with my money because things are going very well. I have achieved a lot thanks to my farming activities, and I have now built a house that would fetch me between 3.5 and 5 million Rwandan francs if I were to decide to sell it. A lot of this progress is thanks to the government's land consolidation program in the agricultural sector that has enabled small farmers to come together and substantially increase their productivity. Now the Ministry of Trade and Industry, together with the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources, are working to ensure that the demand of the processing plants is met. We are assessing the potential of farmers to supply them, and also exactly how many processing plants are needed to reduce disorderliness in the industry. For example, we have determined that we have enough rice processing plants, and if anything, the existing ones need a bigger supply, and there is no need to open new ones. Now we must coordinate to increase the supply so that we can encourage more investors to come in after the supply is guaranteed. Figures from the Ministry of Trade and Industry indicate that there are currently more than 1,050 processing plants in the country, 80% of them small. Those working in the agricultural sector are operating at just half of their capacity because of the limited supply of produce. Now to other matters. In the closing of the annual security and hygiene campaign, local administrators were urged to attentively answer issues hindering the social welfare of citizens, including the high consumption of alcohol, especially among the country's youth. We have the details with Prince Manzi.
In this campaign organized by the Rwanda National Police and its various partners, they included awarding the best performing sectors and cells across the country. The sectors of Kinyinya in Kigali City, Rubavu in Western Province, Karangazi in Eastern Province, Runda in Southern Province, and Bukuri in Northern Province best performed. Each of these sectors was awarded with a car worth 26 million Rwanda francs. Other awards included motorbikes and $1 million worth of cash. The local administrators of sectors and cells awarded attribute their performance to the citizens' participation and strive for their development.
Working together, collaborating with residents through their respective villages and homes.
We took care of the improperly fed children and were treated in 3 weeks only. All issues of malnutrition we have in our region and family conflicts are mostly found in families with people highly consuming alcohol. The Inspector General of Police, DCG Felix Namuhoranye, congratulated best performed administrations and added that the awards given should be used to urge the youth in focusing on the essential rather than consuming alcohol as it affects their lives.
Bihembo tukaba twifuza ko byakoreshwa n'imirenge n'utugari.
Our wish is that the provided awards are to be used in such campaigns, empowering the development of citizens. And as the mayor said, you remember the words of the President of the Republic, stating that the youth are to control themselves while consuming alcohol. Let's use these new reinforcements to urge the youth to focus on what is important other than the alcohol consumption.
Guhugira mufite akamaro kurusha inzoga zibicira ubuzima.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Sabin Sanzimana, also tackled on the effects of alcohol on health and development. There is also a misconception that alcohol boosts breast milk. That is not true at all. There's nothing good of alcohol. What are we looking in it then? Let us work together, emphasize hygiene, security, and let no alcohol affect our progress. The Rwanda National Police reiterates that such campaign will be conducted annually as it is being productive towards solving issues hindering citizens. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
The Defense and Military Spokesperson, Brigadier General Ronald Rwanda, has addressed students at the Rwanda Institute for Conservation Agriculture, or RICA, in Bugesera district, emphasizing the importance of sustaining Rwanda's remarkable achievements and fostering a spirit of unity among the nation's youth. A lecture entitled RPA's Role in Liberating the Country 1994, How Can Today's Youth Sustain What Has Been Achieved, was provided to this community as Rwanda celebrates the 29th anniversary of the liberation of the country. Brigadier General Rwanda stressed the need for continued dedication, hard work, and a sense of shared responsibility among the youth to maintain the progress already achieved. He urged the students to be active participants in shaping the future of Rwanda, reminding them that their actions today would lay the foundation for a prosperous and peaceful tomorrow.
I can tell you that the battles that we fight, the wars that we win, the victories that we register are mainly undertaken by the youth, be it in the jungles of Cabo Delgado, the deserts of Darfur, the green bushes of South Sudan. The youth are the architects of this peace and security. And therefore, make no mistake, you are not a degraded youth as many tend to think. You must get out of that line and stay in line, in the correct line.
RICA is an innovative higher education institute that was established by the Howard G. Buffett Foundation in partnership with the government of Rwanda. It combines research, education, and extension to train Rwanda's next generation of leaders in agriculture while supporting Rwanda's national priorities for agricultural development. Staying briefly on agricultural matters, the Tubura project in the agricultural sector has urged farmers to use lime to reduce the acidity in the soil of their farms and increase harvests. To help farmers to be able to do this, the government of Rwanda has committed itself to covering as much as half of the cost of acquiring the lime. Officials in the Tubura project have also been emphasizing the importance of reducing soil acidity for environmental protection purposes to ensure that future generations have enough arable land. The Tubura project has so far assisted 750 farmers in 27 of the country's 30 districts. Now to education matters. The administration of the Kigali Parents School has stressed the importance of allowing students to implement what they are taught, saying practical work is just as important as the theory they learn in classrooms. The point was made as the school's students showcased some of their projects on Friday.
Showcasing to the parents about programming. I have experience in 4 programming languages. There's Scratch, JavaScript, Turtle Art, and Python. But I mainly specialized in Scratch.
Every day I was busy reciting, saying that on the science fair I will say this, I will say this. Luckily, I managed to memorize it, and then it was like a memory in my head. It also made me to become confident because in a crowd of people, like 20 to 50 people, you feel like your heart is pumping. I was usually a shy guy, but thanks to the teachers and my parents who told me to become confident, the science fair helped me to become confident. It even helped me to learn more about science because I could see my friends playing with the chemicals. For me, I'm in biology, others are in machines, physics. And then I said that when I reach home, I'm going to read about this, read about that. In science, I read more. Yeah.
Parents, teachers, and other members of the school staff commended the fact that the students are able to effectively implement what they have been taught.
The contents of this science exhibition or science fair, it's to enable children understand what they are learning in class.
The intention of this science fair is to exhibit what our children learn in class theoretically, to do it practically when they are using their own hands either using the computer or using the experiments on hands-on, when they are touching, when they are explaining what they learned in class, being taught by their teacher.
Kigali Parents Primary School is a private school that was established back in 1995 with 6 pupils and a teaching staff of only 4. Today, the school boasts over 2,000 pupils and a teaching staff of more than 100. That is the news for now. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I hope you had a great week. I hope you have a great weekend ahead of you. Goodbye.